Brian Glosik. I'm the Green Tech Project Manager here at the Chicago Center for Green Technology. We have a number of different functions here. My primary role is working with the City of Chicago and carrying out education programming on sustainability. There's usually classified into three main types of green roofs. There's the extensive system, which is probably the most common. That's usually 3 to 5 inches of growing media, and usually has a low growth plant such as sedum. Is probably the most commonly used one. And from there you go into the semi-intensive and intensive green roofs, which are much deeper growing medias, like what you see on top of City Hall downtown. Those are going to be much suited for different types of plants, more ornamental plants sometimes, grasses, shrubs. So if it's a roof that you're going to have people on entertaining, intensive green roofs are the way to go. You know, every year the city's adding more green rooftops. There's been a few different catalysts over the years. The first green roof that was installed was the one on top of City Hall back in 2001, and since then it's really taken off quite rapidly. And there's a lot of different reasons for it. I think the city really took leadership on that and leading the way, by example sort of approach. The architecture community, Chicago's architecture community, is extremely passionate. They caught on to it as well and started incorporating green roofs in a lot of places. Chicago, if I'm not mistaken, still right now does lead the way in terms of square footage in the U.S. I want to say the number was somewhere around 1 million square feet and growing, but it could be more than that now. The original theory with the green roofs and why it was introduced, especially in Chicago, was to address the urban heat island effect. The rural areas consist mostly of farmland plants, which have much higher cooling properties than something like a blacktop parking lot or a blacktop roof. So green roofs, the original concept with them was that they help mitigate the urban heat island. So reduce our heating. 10 degrees is a lot on a day when it was 95, or it could have been 85 had we had the right materials in place. So that you're seeing that was a huge component behind a lot of the motivation. Now in Chicago, they're finding that what is even more probably relevant to Chicago and it actually is performing better is in terms of stormwater management. Chicago, if you've been here for any amount of time, you know that the city floods pretty regularly after a heavy rainstorm. Basements flood, and we have combined sewer overflows because of the amount of impervious material like rooftops, parking lots that are collecting that water and goes into our combined sewer system, and then we discharge sewage into the river and the lake. Green roofs are a way to mitigate some of that a lot. And in a city like Chicago, where you have a stormwater ordinance that is pretty strictly enforced, a green rooftop's a really good tool to have because you don't always have the landscape to work with to keep your water on site. As opposed, you look at a building downtown, they have pretty much their building footprint as their property and aren't able to retain stormwater nearly as much as a site like we are at CCT, where we have a whole wetland. Green roofs are finding their stride here a lot more in terms of stormwater, I think, than the energy conservation. But that is still an element, and they're all good things.